The Global Green Growth Institute, working with developing countries to achieve poverty reduction and inclusive, sustainable economic growth.
Okay, everyone. Hello, everyone. This is Johan Kim. Good evening and good morning, our fellow colleagues and friends in country offices. This is the special session for Greenpreneurs. I'm very excited to be here today to launch, formally launch our initiative called Greenpreneurs. And then I'm here today with 4 winners of the Greenpreneurs of 2018. 2018, 4 winners of Greenpreneurs program. So they actually made their final pitch at the council and assembly of our organization. So they received a good feedback from President Chair Ban Ki-moon and Director General Frank, and then all other distinguished guests from member countries. So we have a lot of people here today in Seoul as well. So I'm really glad to have you online, and then good to see you all here. So I'm going to introduce quickly about the Greenpreneurs initiative today, and then I'm going to give you a chance, my colleagues in country offices, to see the final pitch of our awarded Greenpreneurs. So the Greenpreneurs program is basically like this. We all know green growth requires innovation and entrepreneurship, and also we all know that not enough young entrepreneurs in our operating countries or member countries, or you could say the developing countries, don't really have the proper opportunity to convert their innovative green growth ideas into solid business plans. So they need some sort of mentoring, training, and even some seed capital to take risk, to test out their ideas. So simply put, GGGI started off this Greenpreneurs program to fill the gap. And it's all about investing in the future of green growth, because these are the people driving the innovation, then driving the driving changes for green growth. So Greenpreneurs, we've been crafting this program for about a year with our good partners, Student Energy. The Helen from Student Energy is here from Canada. And we have Lucas Kekengma from New Zealand, representing Youth Climate Lab. So we've been discussing intensively for the last year. It's about now 10 months now, right? So crafting the program, and then running the program, and then finalizing the pitch competition, etc. So so this is all about the global program. It's a web-based training modules. We've been running 10-week online modules to the potential entrepreneurs, and also we are quite successful to invite 16 mentors and subject matter experts pro bono basis from all around the world, taking care of entrepreneurs in our operating countries. And then finally, we had the business plan competition, dealing with their financial model, impact model, and then their unique value proposition, etc. So it was quite competitive discussion in the steering committee, and then we finally made the decision to give the awards to 4 entrepreneurs who received the final award, $5,000 seed capital from Ban Ki-moon, our President Chair, and then our Director General Frank last night. And then we have other component on national program, which has been discussing with many other countries. So this year, the Christine in the Pacific region, she has been running the Pacific Greenpreneurs program. And also, we've been discussing other opportunities in other countries. So we're thinking to expand our program on national level, dealing with the physical incubators or accelerator um, um, next year onwards. So basically, two two elements: global program and then the national program, working with our country offices. And then I would like to thank particularly the couple of country reps who have been supporting our entrepreneurs, and then me, the program is itself during over the course of the year. So particularly thank for Pablo in Mexico. He has been advising our one of our finalists, but they're not the final winner, but he has been providing good feedback. And then also um, Caroline in Cambodia. She has been discussing with one of our winners about the potential work with GGGI, and then even in Cambodia. And also the Dagmar and the Nicole from Morocco, and then all other, and then Uganda Peter, and all other country reps, and then their staff have been supporting us. Um, Although I know that it's all additional for you guys, but they've been showing their good energy to support these entrepreneurs. So we'd like to do more next year, so we can design the program next year together. So the expected outcome is basically to stimulate green growth on global and national level through these young entrepreneurs, and try to connect job, innovation, and youth, and enabling future leaders to implement their ideas. And more importantly, through these efforts, we'll be able to ultimately contribute to originating the small-scale bankable project on the ground. And this is a couple of statistics. So 349 people applied for this program this year. And then we shortlisted 10 teams, and then they've been working together with us through 10-week modules. And then it's a business. It includes mentoring, subject matter expert advising, business model revision, checking out the unique value proposition of their own business, and then etc. And then we finally decided to give 5,000 US dollar award for each four awarded entrepreneurs, and then they received the award from our president and chair and the director general last night. It was a big night for them. So I'm really glad. This is at the end of my presentation, and without further ado, I would like to introduce our awarded entrepreneurs with full of energy today. But before that, I would like to, yeah, you have energy, yeah, no? So before that, I would like to show you 1-minute video how we've been doing for this year. So have a look at the video. For those of you who haven't really watched the video properly, colleagues in country office, I'm going to share the link of the video, so you'll be able to watch it later. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce one of our finalists. Um, I'd like to introduce him like that. He's one of the serial entrepreneurs, not a serial killer, but serial entrepreneur. Started off his own business from 13 years old. I mean, this is his sixth business model he developed, and then he recently got the first contract with one of the construction company during the Greenpreneurs program. So I'm going to introduce Mr. Saif from Morocco.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Do you know that by 2050 there will be more plastic than fish in our oceans? I am Saifdin, and this is my teammate Huda, and we are the team Pavico from Morocco. And what we are doing is saving the planet by transforming the plastic waste into eco-friendly construction products. Let me tell you how. So our story begins when we start feeling and living the huge negative impact of plastic waste in our life and in the environment in terms of water, air, and soil pollution worldwide. Then, as a social entrepreneur since 13 years old, I started thinking how I can bring my tools and my knowledge to find a sustainable solution to this growing problem. After a couple of weeks brainstorming and ideation, I came up with a new construction material based on 80% of plastic waste and 20% of additives that can be used in construction sector such as concrete. And are 100% eco-friendly and recyclable, and also 2 times cheaper to produce. Our first products are called Paveco. This is paving blocks that can be used in sidewalks and gardens that are harder and more durable than the ordinary product. Also, we can add colors, and our material can take different shapes in order, for example, to produce the traditional Moroccan mosaic tiles inspired from the Arabic culture. So our main goal is to recycle more than 300,000 tons of plastic waste by 2020. And also at Pavico, we are not only ridding the environment from the huge quantity of plastic, but also we are providing a sustainable, eco-friendly, and recyclable infrastructure for our communities and to build the next green cities of the future. So thanks to the Greenpreneur program, we have been able to get some tools and to move from a simple prototype to a ready-to-market product. And recently, we have signed our first pilot project with a construction company in Morocco, thanks to the Greenpreneur program. And our next milestones would be to implement our first production facility in order to implement our solution. Ladies and gentlemen, this is just the beginning of our journey, so join us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Saif, for your presentation. And then I would like to introduce our second awarded entrepreneurs, Mr. Jonathan from Indonesia.
So when I say the word toxic chemicals, you'd probably have something like this in mind. Now let's see the same blue-colored liquid, which is very toxic. Now imagine it is being contained in a white container in this picture. So the guy who handles it is that guy wearing casual outfit, no protective equipments, and on top of that, he's smoking. Well, this is not an interesting anecdote. This is a reality faced by millions of Indonesian farmers working with pesticide every day. So governments have done their best. They give them trainings, free protective equipments, and also create regulations and so on and so forth, but these are to no avail. So we think if we cannot change the habit, why not change the pesticide? These are my team. We are Bumdes team from Indonesia. I'm Jonathan, and we have Johannes, Albertus, Natalie, and Hafish. Together, we developed an organic pesticide whose main active ingredients are lemongrass oil and clove leaf oil. So we trap these two active ingredients in a matrix so that they don't easily evaporate. And even more so, it becomes twice as thick as your typical pesticide. This is a very important feature for pesticide being used in countries with loss of rain like Indonesia. And so it separates us from competitors. If this sounds too good to be true for you, well, it's maybe because we are supervised by one of the most powerful female engineers in 2018 as listed by Business Insider, who is Dr. Wiratni, our professor in our university. So our 100% formula is meant to eliminate the problems caused by synthetic pesticide, such as degrading the soil quality, killing beneficial insects, but most importantly, poisoning our farmers every day. We had won a science competition before with this idea, and through the Greenpreneurs program, we are challenged to think one step ahead, how to make this into a sustainable business. We approach our customers, prospective customers, and identified their segments, formulated our unique value proposition. And one interesting thing we found during the market survey is that they actually know that synthetic chemicals are harmful for their lands, and they are looking for ways to transition to organic, but they are facing difficulties in the implementation. And that's exactly where our business can help. And we also have secured an agreement with a local mid-sized agricultural products company to conduct a field test for our product, which is scheduled in early 2019, next year. And we also look to build our pilot plan to test our current preliminary design for the pesticide plan. So this is not just a social venture. This is a call to question whether the lives of Indonesian farmers matter. Do we wait for the government to come up with something magically and solve everything overnight? Or do we act on it? Thank you.
So thank you, Jonathan. Taking this opportunity, I would like to thank Dagmar, Rani, and then Indonesian team, because Jonathan is coming from one of the provinces in Indonesia, and then he had a visa issue to come down here to attend the council, but it was, very much helpful. So thank you very much, and I'm really glad to have you here finally. And then our third winner is from Uganda, the Kakembo Brian.
Hi, I'm Kakembo Brian from Uganda. I'm the founder of Way Clean Energy Company. This is my team, Nasanga Roda, Cheso Philip, and Rujeko Mushove. So some brief about us. We grew up in a rural farming community. So we have really witnessed how deforestation has affected the farmers and our agricultural productivity. And this has forced youth to move from these rural areas into the city. So what happens when they move into the city, they settle in slums, and in these slums, they face a new challenge. And the challenge is unsafe cooking, because they are poor, they can't afford clean cooking. So they get exposed to respiratory complications. So we came up with a solution to tackle both the problem of the fuel and the stoves. So our first product is Kyoto Eco Briquette. This is a charcoal that is made from agricultural waste. So it's the perfect substitute at the moment for firewood and charcoal made from wood. We also came up with the institutional cooking stove. This will enable the institutions like schools, prisons, universities to transition from using firewood into using charcoal briquettes. And also we have the product for the households, the clean cook stove for the household. So we are not the first to manufacture briquettes. It has existed for over 10 years. But through the Greenpreneurs program, we have we are taking this business to the top. We are going to be top of our market because one, our product, the institutional briquette stove, we're going to give the institutions free renovation from wood stoves to our briquette stove technology, and through this we'll sign a 5-year contract to supply them our charcoal briquettes. So what we'll do is to capture a new market and leverage it to earn 35% profit margin. So when we do this, we are going to invest 20% of this profit into training youth and women in slums to market and sell our product to their communities because they understand it better. And we also invest in training youth and women in slum in rural farming communities to source the agricultural waste, carbonize it, and then sell it back to us as their business, sell it back to us so that we can secure our raw material. So then we also invest 30% of our profit into subsidizing clean cook stoves for the rural communities and also the slum communities so that we make it affordable. To us, that will be expanding our market, but in a way, it will be a social it will be social impact because it's affordable for them. So then we invest 50% of the remaining profit, 50% of the profit back into renovation of more institutional cook stoves so that we can also expand our market and grow bigger. So what else we have gotten from the Greenpreneurs experience is the free mentorship and consultation. In my country, this is kind of one of the most expensive things to get because we have mainly private consultants and they are really expensive. And also even the officials that are maybe in public offices are quite busy and bureaucratic. You can never get any advice or even expertise in anything. So we also made strategic networks. We were connected by the Director General to GGGI Uganda offices, and they've been really supportive. And we have been having dialogues for future collaboration. And then our next step is going to be to use our youth and women training program. First of all, to secure a raw material. Our target is 200 tons annually, and this is possible because if we go through all the rural areas and set up mini projects, and these youth and women will be securing this raw material for us for a fee. And then the distribution efficiency still through the training in slum communities. They're going to be doing door-to-door marketing and sales. So this is going to be really efficient for us. We also want to decentralize our production. This is through setting up more plants in different regions, and we're going to collaborate with GGGI and maybe even the government so that we have more of these production plants. And then our market expansion, like I said, we'll invest 50% back into reconstruction of more institutional cook stoves so that we expand the market wider. We look forward to turning the country green again, and the first step is to stop deforestation, and then we can regrow the forest. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ryan. Excellent presentation, and I hope your business will thrive more through this program. The last, but not the least, the winner of this 2018 Greenpreneurs is the team from Cambodia called Cambodia Green Infrastructure. But there's a story I would like to share. This team was one of the sort of, I mean, they're all good, but they're quite passionate into participating the modules and all this program throughout the program. But when we announced the result after the final steering committee meeting about the technical about the technical results and scores, and then they were not really contacted by us. So we were surprised that why these guys are not being contacted. And then we realized that the CEO of the startup, the very day the result was released, he had a first baby on that day, so so he couldn't really focus on these things. But he told me that he got everything. He got the world on the same day. He had a baby, and he had a Greenpreneurs Award. So he was so into it, and then he sent a video message to all of us. But also we have his great partner Aaron as well. So we're gonna see the short speech from him, and then have a presentation from Aaron.
Hi, good morning, good evening. CGI was developed out of a frustration of the impacts from flooding and stormwater that continue to impact Phnom Penh, Cambodia. CGI's initial focus is to design and install vegetative bioretention systems in urban areas as a retrofit solution to this issue. Since I first moved to Cambodia about 10 years ago, Phnom Penh has changed remarkably. Rapid development and economic growth has seen flurries of external investment. However, such development comes at a massive cost. Flooding incident cost the economy about $6 million each month. Open stormwater drains that you can see in the photo carve their way through Phnom Penh, carrying heavily polluted stormwater and wastewater. These open drains flood the streets when monsoon downpours cannot be contained. In filming a short video in this area, I contracted gastritis in the floodwater and lost 3 kilograms of weight. Our research suggests that one major issue of the flooding is the inability of stormwater to access the subsurface. The streets are predominantly impermeable and the drainage system is often blocked with sediment and waste. 25 lakes that previously acted as a drainage basin in the city have also been filled in to prioritize the development agenda. Climate change is predicted to cause more intense and unpredictable storms across Cambodia. Flooded streets impact families, schools, home, businesses and transport. Currently, no direct competition for bioretention exists in Cambodia. CGI has many unique value propositions, including key contacts with government and the private sector, a large network of experts, a wealth of experience in operating and managing in Cambodia, and access to critical data. The vegetative systems that we're going to install should improve the quality of urban living, enhancing health, well-being in the environment. A city with green space is like to have healthier citizens, reducing demands on services and therefore contributing to a stronger economy. These benefits are particularly important for economically deprived areas. CGI will work with rural Cambodian government ministries and City Hall to install these systems. CGI intends to initially install the systems to complement a large-scale drainage project being constructed in Phnom Penh. We intend to install 500 meters in year 1 and then expand to 3,000 meters across Cambodia by the 3rd year of operation. The Greenpreneur program has enabled us to develop our concept into a business and give us the confidence to develop our ideas further. We want to continue to develop alternative green infrastructure concepts such as permeable paving, urban green space, green play areas through accessing CSR funds, selling our ideas to private and commercial developers, and working with agencies and other institutions. We have connected and been very well supported by GGGI Cambodia, and we are very excited about the potential future for urban space across Cambodia, and especially for Sui's baby, Ali. Thank you for listening. Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron. The colleagues, this is it. This is the end of the presentation. But before taking some questions, I would like to introduce very briefly, 30 seconds each, my partners, Helen from Student Energy, and then Lucas from Youth Climate Lab. So introducing your organization and then our partnership and etc. Helen, you can sit here.
Thank you, Juhern. So I work at Student Energy, and Student Energy is a global nonprofit that is building the next generation of sustainable energy leaders who will accelerate the sustainable energy transition. And so we work with about 50,000 young people in over 100 countries to help them to get their solutions off the ground and into their communities, and really push industry, government, and other leaders around the world to make decisions that will support the sustainable energy future for them. And so working with GGGI and Youth Climate Lab has been a great example of our work doing intergenerational collaboration, which is how we work with established professionals and experts and connect them to young people with innovative, fresh ideas to get those solutions off the ground. So thank you so much for working with us, GGGI and Youth Climate Lab, and I'll pass it over to Lucas.
Thank you, Helen. Sorry. get out of the screen. So often climate change is seen as a trade-off. You have to give up growth in order to achieve sustainability. Youth Climate Lab is really about challenging that. We believe to successfully address climate change, we need to find solutions that actually make people's lives better while mitigating climate change. And we believe that youth are the best place to do that. We're not stuck in doing things the old way. And I think, you know, these 4 teams really, really illustrated that today. And, you know, each one of them found an idea that benefited climate change, but also changed people's lives for the better. What Youth Climate Lab does is we're building a global network of entrepreneurs and youth negotiators and letting youth empower youth in order to have an impact. You know, you can find out more later, but I just wanted to quickly thank Helen and Juhern. In many ways, running a program like this is like an iceberg. Not because it sinks your ship, but because only 10% of the work is what you see on the surface. There's so much work that goes into this, and Juhern and Helen just carried such a massive, massive amount of that and produced a really fantastic program. So thank you.
Thank you, Lucas. We have a lot of people in the headquarters now, and then I really wanted to thank our colleagues in the country office. So if I wanted to have actually GIS colleagues to discuss business model, probably they're busy structuring deals or something. So if any one of you here in the HQ, if you have any questions or comment or any congratulatory remarks or any comments, I will be very appreciated to have it. So anyone? Darren, please, here. It is being recorded. Thank you, Mr. Communications.
Hi. So I actually had a question for you guys that doing what it is that your ambition actually is difficult for corporates. So we know that in some of the countries where GGGI is working, our value added that we offer to large corporates, established corporations that have an established value proposition, sort of a running set of customers and have a track record of experience actually developing projects, that their cost of capital is prohibitively high. That one of the citations that I heard from one of our colleagues was, right now, if you wanted to walk into a bank in Rwanda and borrow a couple $1 million, the interest rate that you'd be looking at is about 19%. And in Canada, where I'm from, and probably here in Korea, that's what you can get on a credit card. So building an airport on a credit card is not, you know, very viable. And what it is that GGGI tries to attempt to do is to use concessionary forms of capital, either through financing or through equity investment, to try to lower that blended rate of the actual cost of capital, whether it's equity or loans. So I was just interested to hear from any of you, and maybe this could be more of a discussion as to when you don't have a track record, when you don't have a product that has been proven, what are the sorts of challenges that you have to overcome on a day-to-day basis to try to see, you know, to source seed capital? Because I would imagine if established businesses going to established financiers are having those sorts of barriers to entry, I can imagine yours must be much, much greater. Do you look domestically? Do you look for you know, high net worth individuals and family offices to actually back your projects? Or are you really looking externally? Are you looking to source capital and source investment from outside of your own countries and outside of your own provinces? Just curious to hear the challenges of actually sourcing capital.
No, that's a wonderful question, Darren. Actually, he is the head of communication, but he's actually coming from banking industry. So for you to know, I mean, think about the questions. Think about the questions and then preparing the answer. That, I mean, it's hard to choose to, you know, another questioner from GGGI. But since head of communication said something, I would like to have Crystal, head of HR, to be here to have a comment from HR perspective dealing with this promising green growth entrepreneurs. But you have to be here. You have to be here, and then
You
the
tricked
cameras
me.
is there.
Yeah, thank you. So, where's the camera? Oh, okay. Hello, everyone from the country offices. So welcome, and thank you very much for being here today. I know it's a lot of work, it's a lot of time and commitment, and I think today you have inspired us tremendously because in GGI, we actually attract, retain, and grow leaders of green growth. That's our hope. That's what we do every day. And we're very happy to see that you also joining our efforts, perhaps at a smaller scale, but as much important that what we do at the global scale. So thank you for that. Thank you for making a difference. I mean, I lived in Africa, so I see the, the briquettes. It's a huge improvement for the life of people on a day-to-day basis. And all the other projects are equally important. Morocco, I know you've been cleaning your shores. Recently, there's been a huge campaign. So you're actually making a big difference as well. So small scale projects, but big difference. So you are our green colleagues. So welcome again and thank you and keep in touch with us. And hopefully maybe one day if business doesn't pick up, you might join us. I'll keep your names on the list. Because what we need is passion. And I see the passion here. We have passionate people in GGI. I see passionate young entrepreneurs. So we're actually joining efforts. We're doing the same thing, maybe in a different way. And that's what we should continue doing. It's urgent. Climate change is a problem, huge problem in so many disciplines. So we need passionate people. And also thank you very much, Juno. This is your baby program with, Helene and the colleagues from the Youth Lab. So thank you very much for that. And we hope that, we have many more, projects coming next year. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Christelle. Actually, it was a very good comment. So if your business is not really working, which should not be like that, but you can contact Christelle. That's a wonderful comment and a wonderful compliment. And then finally, I'd like to invite one more person who is the head of our sustainability unit dealing with the women and the youth issues. Inhi? You can include youth as well. It's all about that.
Including youth now. Good morning, everybody. I'm Inhi, and it's now recent that I've got to learn a bit more about the Greenpreneurs, although I've been receiving emails, and I was absolutely delighted to see what a great program it's been. So congratulations. And I was very delighted to see that some of your products are for health and safety of workers in the Indonesian context, where you're not only looking at the environment, but you're actually looking at the workers who are using pesticides. That's great. And also women's gender issue in Uganda also, being working on poverty and gender issues. I think it was great to see that. So yes, it's been very inspiring, as Christelle mentioned, and I hope you keep up the good work. And I was just thinking about the bankability issue and the capital issue, whether we could bundle some of these ideas and present it to, I don't know, an impact investor or something. So yes, you're kind of triggering a lot of interesting ideas. So keep up the good work. Well done.
No, thank you so much, Ini. That's an excellent comment. So did you prepare any answer to Darren? Yeah, okay. Who wants to go first? Kakembo. Here.
I'm from a finance background, so and one thing I need to say is that yes, it's true, we struggle so much, especially in Uganda. We actually at 21%, not 19, so that's even worse. So what happens is, as youth, we come out of university. If we're lucky to actually come out of university, we come out and we have these ideas and we want to start, but there's kind of nothing, nowhere to start. We don't even have credit history, because the whole idea of credit cards in my country is not really common, right? We only have debit, and if you're lucky to be from kind of a middle class family, you'll have a debit card. So we don't have any history, so it's really hard. And if you're dealing with green enterprises, that's even much worse, especially when you look at agriculture, energy. It's much worse because if the banks don't, it's risky, so the banks don't really want to invest in it. So what we do as youth, and what I've done is to position myself in a way to receive external funding. So what we do is we seek out for youth supportive mechanism like student energy, and you position yourself in a way that these high-level organizations will kind of see the potential you have, and you find yourself in the path of impact investors, people who actually are looking to invest some seed capital in high-risk market. So it's a gamble. To be honest, it's actually a gamble, but that's it's the only choice that we have at the moment. We have a program that was started by the government. We have the government youth loans, but it's quite bureaucratic, right? It's a little bit bureaucratic, and then it's also kind of tuned towards a certain kind of industry, and that is maybe manufacture of simple products, especially agricultural products, simple products, because for them they believe that's what makes impact. So we have that challenge, and it's really big, and that's why I'm thankful for programs like the Greenpreneurs, because it has really given us a chance to prove that our ideas matter. Thank you.
So yeah, I have been told like many times that, oh, from people and from young, I have an idea, but I can't start because I don't have money. So just to tell you my story, I start from $0. Like to prototype or to move further, you have an idea, you have to prototype it first to prove that you can do it. So I start from zero. I start from my parents' garage. Like I collected plastic with friends. Then I then I started prototyping and like with nothing. So it's not that in the first step it's not that important to raise money. Then with just a simple prototype, I have been able to raise like $10,000 just with a simple prototype, like from the international and national organization. So and we have been able to like, then we moved, we had the workshop where we start like doing some artisanal products, and then tests, and then so you have to start, and then everything will follow. Money is not an excuse to not start. It's just like a tool to get bigger. And actually now we have been able to raise like $40,000, and we have like ready to market prototype today. We don't have an established production unit, and we have been able to raise $40,000. And now like after all this work, there is investors, there is a lot of ways to get money and to get funds. So just start, just believe in your idea and find people that will believe in it. So yeah.
No, that's a very confident message from serial entrepreneur. But I've started once my own business when I was in university, but I failed. But I don't have that level of confidence. But I need to learn from you. But anyhow, so Jonathan.
So, Darren, although I'm from engineering background, unlike Brian, but actually I've entered in bank. So it's nice to know that we have the same, background or something. And I'm going to answer this more realistically. Bank is an option, certainly, but considering our scale and many unfair advantages that our business has, I think it's not the only option. So I'm lucky that my university is actually, you can say, the University of Bureaucrats in Indonesia, and we are very well connected with alumni in big and small government, local governments, national governments. So, and further so, in Indonesia there is a initiative coming from the Ministry of Research and Education, and they are giving lots of huge grants for startups. And despite the capital is in Jakarta, actually the startup, the incubation is based on my hometown, my university town, Jakarta. And one of the directors is actually my own professor and my thesis advisor. So yeah, we've got a lot of connection and unfair advantages for our businesses. And since the fund that they could provide is much larger, and we think we don't need banks, and yeah, I think our business can survive better. Thank you.
Thank you, Shurada. You want to say something, Aaron? Yes, yes, please.
Hi, I'm Alan CGI. I'd like to say I'm not from the banking industry. I'm quite thankful that I'm not from the banking industry. Just quickly, we were a social startup, so these guys, to me, are incredible. I feel so humbled to be here, and these guys have like completely shifted my viewpoint of how things can be achieved. We don't necessarily need much investment. We're more of a service-based sort of concept. So our technical capacity and education and experience is going to get us moving. But I just wanted to sort of complement the program quickly. The program for me, like, completely shifted my way of looking at financing. And one of the experts we spoke to a few days before we had to submit our final presentation explained something I didn't quite get. Like, we were looking at the model the wrong way. He was trying to convince us to look at how our idea would help the economy and to spin it the other way. We're looking at profit margins and business model and growth margins. He was trying to advise us to say, look and explain to the government the money that can be saved by this and expand that idea. And that's what's going to work. I think that's how we can convince the Cambodian government that we can prove to you this much money can be saved through these particular avenues and grow that way. Thank you. Thanks.
No, thank you very much, Aaron, for your answer to Darren, and nice question, Darren. So, does anybody want to comment? Oh yes, please, please. Yeah, please come, please come, please come. Say your name and.
Hi, my name is Grace, and I'm working with the Green Growth Potential Assessment team. So I guess I just received an email a few days ago about this entire program. And first of all, being here and listening to your story, I think all of what you've been doing is wonderful. And my question is whether you have plans to expand your businesses to a more global scale. Because I think some of your solutions, a lot of your solutions don't necessarily need to be confined to the boundaries of your own country. For example, I think like we would love to have pavements like that in Korea as well. And I was in the Philippines this summer, and I saw the same storm water flooding thing happening. So I think your business would be enormously helpful to that country, to the Pacific countries as well. So like, yeah.
Thank you for the questions. Anybody wants to answer? Basically, if they are able able to solve their local issues enough, and then if you go through all the break-even points, and then if you can overcome the Death Valley point of view financial modeling, then you can do the global scale as well. But yeah, obviously they will think about the expansion once you're ready enough. Brian Kakembo.
Actually, one of our team members is called Rujeko Mushove. She's from Zimbabwe. We met her at a conference, International Student Energy Conference in Mexico, and we clicked the very first time we met, we clicked, and we knew we had the same challenges. So Rujeko right now is spearheading the preparation to start this same project in Zimbabwe, and we had already moved a step. We're halfway, but then the economy is kind of down right now. So there are some things they have put a ban to from entering into the country. So, but that is our plan, right? We want to kind of grow with them at the same time, because we thought maybe let us first grow fully here, but then in Zimbabwe, the challenges they have are the same challenges we have, but we also the advantage that they have is that their agriculture is much better than ours at the moment, and therefore their raw material is so secure, so they'll probably move even much faster than us, right? So we kind of took on a gamble, a risk to do both of them at the same time, and I think it will work out for us because it has always been working out for us. Yeah.
Thank you, Kakembo. I think we are on time, so I think it's time to wrap up. But before wrapping up, I'd like to acknowledge Alice, our intern of ODG, but I just met her like 2 weeks before, and then she's been dealing with like 100 emails every day. Please come and then say something.
Hello, everybody. I would just like to extend a huge thank you and a welcome to the Greenpreneurs and those associated with helping bring this fantastic idea on board. It's been very inspiring to meet you all and learn about your business ideas. And I really believe that it's so important to start with our local communities and expand outwards from there. So thank you all for being here today. I know some of you went through a lot of hardship to get here, and we really appreciate it. And it's been fantastic to meet you all.
Thank you, Alice. Thank you very much, the participants from our country offices, particularly the HEQ colleagues joined this meeting. I will remember you. And I'm being very serious. I'm being very serious because a lot of people talk to me. Oh, Greenpreneurs. Yeah, but we have a lot of people here. But anyhow, so ladies and gentlemen, I would like to wrap up. But please join me in congratulating the 5,000 city capital for this awarded entrepreneurs, and also supporting their green growth business journey onward. So please give them a big round of applause. Thank you very much.